So let me tell you the story of my life, a story of woe and misery. One day I dropped my phone. And because I dropped my phone, the screen had a crack. And I couldn't see the Ushikushi lady on the phone. It had like a little bit of a crack here. It made her look like she has cellulitis. And I was like, cellulitis, right? So I wanted to fix the issue. I wanted to fix the problem. And I take my phone to a repair guy. Was a very chubby and imposing monstrosity of a man, right? Like in a very little room, because obviously it shows that he doesn't get a lot of business there. I swear to God, like the guy was bigger than the room he was in. And he looks at me, and I look at him and I ask him, like, how much to fix this? It's like, it's a little crack. It's a little crack, right? It can't be that hard. Like, work your magic. Do your thingy and fix it. And he looks at it, $200. And I'm like, motherfucker, what do you mean $200? It costs more than the phone. It costs more than the phone. I bought this phone second hand, okay? I didn't buy it from the factory. No, I got it from a guy that used it already. And you're telling me it's like $200? Like, yeah, because I have to replace like the entire thing needs to come out, and it's like a special order, and I need to replace the entire casing, and I'm like, okay, that might be a problem. And then I realized that I'm not the only mortal that is dealing with this problem, alright? Unless you're a bourgeoisie twat with a pot of gold hidden at the end of the rainbow, I found out that most people don't actually upgrade their phones, believe it or not. Like and what I mean is that usually people buy a new phone because their old one broke, and that's when they upgrade, okay? It's not that a new phone releases and most people are like, oh my god, like the new phone that came out has this brand new feature and I really must have it, I really need it, right? Okay, that doesn't really happen with normal people. It usually happens with people that are interested in attracting gold diggers, and they go on a date, and the first thing they do when they come on a date, they throw their phone on the table so everyone can see it, right? It's like, oh, it's the brand new iPhone. It's the brand new iPhone. It's got so many new features that you're never going to use and don't give a shit about, and a better camera, slightly better camera. Now you can purchase another camera that's better than the one your phone has for probably a quarter of a price, but hey, it's a camera in an iPhone. Aren't you impressed, mademoiselle? Aren't you impressed, lady? Look how cool I am. Am I not macho? Am I not macho? I'm macho because I have this phone with money from mommy and daddy. But my point is, right, like, not all people are like that. Very few people are like that. The majority of people end up using their phone and then it breaks. So what they do is, like, they go to a repair guy, and the repair guy, which is already trying to make ends meet, is telling them that the price to fix it is more than the phone itself. And this, believe it or not, caused a movement, which I don't know how many of you heard about it, but it's an international movement. It's called the right to repair, right? Because a lot of people figured it out, and it's not just the phone companies that do this shit. It's car companies as well, and this really hurts agriculture. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But it's also, when it comes to consoles, laptops, like a lot of things. Because what ended up happening, my private company, which can do everything at once, is realizing that this is a sustainable business model. Because you don't need to innovate anymore. Like, what you need to do is to release a new phone every year, upgrade just like a little, tinker a little bit, and people will buy it because their previous phones are going to end up getting broken. Right? Because they're made to be broken. They're not made to last. They're specifically designed so they get damaged. And when they get damaged, the company doesn't release a lot of parts on the market, which is why it's so expensive to repair it. They don't release even the technical know-how. So you need to go to their shop if you want to repair it.
I'm here today because right to repair is very important to ensuring the longevity of our electronics as they become a bigger part of our lives. I believe Jessa and the other panel mentioned the software locks that Apple's been putting in place on the batteries on the iPhone 11s and the newer models. Apple, I actually have a quote here from Apple that they responded to this saying, it's unsafe for people other than Apple authorized service providers to replace their batteries. I've been replacing batteries in iPhone since I was 12. I'm still here today. Got an iPhone right here. You can just pull you literally, there's some screws in here, you take the screen off, you pull some tabs out, and the battery comes out. I don't see how that's unsafe.
And that's the main problem. That's why people are complaining. It's getting so bad. Just so you know how bad it's getting in the agricultural department. Farmers in the U.S. are buying up old tractors. Like they're going to auctions to places and they prefer to buy old tractors than the new ones that look like a freaking spaceship. And every time something gets busted, you need to go to some software developer to fix your tractor, right? Like you go to a tech guru in order to fix your tractor. And people are pissed off about it, obviously, right? Like they don't like it. And apparently, even the Democrats are taking up this battle. And lately, credit is where credit is due. Joe Biden has passed an executive order in order to allow the right to repair. Yeah, I mean, I knew that the Democrats were actually interested into this. I saw a Democrat senator talk against Microsoft, and he was saying, like, look, I don't understand. Like, I got an Xbox, right? And you're telling me that if the Xbox fan gets broken and it doesn't spin properly, I need to buy a special screwdriver that only works for that Xbox so that I can open it. Like, obviously, the corporation is doing this out of, well, I can't really say malice, but is doing this knowingly that it's going to hamper people's ability to repair their shit.
Chair, so a couple of quick points. I heard it said here that there are many options currently for repair. When I had a fan break in my Xbox, I only had one option. I had to send it back to Microsoft. I had to wait several weeks. It was expensive, and then I got back a unit which was probably not the same unit I sent in. Obviously, they wipe all the data and say that you won't have any problem restoring all your accounts. And maybe it's actually harder than that. My point here is that this is about competition. There's no competition. If there's competition, then people would have to try to get that console repaired more quickly. They'd have to get it back to me in a way that I wanted as a consumer. So I wanted to kind of probe into that. I recognize the need for protecting digital copyright, and I think that's absolutely legitimate, but a broken fan is not part of that. When a pad on my Xbox controller gets worn because it's old, I don't see a copyright problem with taking the thing apart and putting in a new pad. Why do I have to get a super special screwdriver in order to do that? So, I mean, I think that's really the focus here. It's not about being able to get into every little electronic component in this thing. It's about being able to fix a USB port or a worn piece of rubber. So could you talk about that?
Briefly, please. Senator, we recognize that this is an issue that many members of this body are concerned about, and we do look forward to having more robust conversations about this. Simply passing this legislation, we think, is ill-considered. We would like to have more robust conversations. I believe that we get to have that opportunity with some of the conversations that a number of us have had earlier this week. And your comments will be taken into serious consideration as we go on with that. But at this point, this is not something that we think that this committee nor the legislature should move.
All right, so if you want, like, think about it, right? Like, if you want to open your Xbox, according to that Democrat senator, I don't know if this is true or not, because I don't have one of those goddamn things, but apparently you need, like, a special screwdriver in order to open it. I'm pretty sure, like, it might be true, because I don't know how to fucking open this thing. Like, if something goes wrong, I don't know how to open it. I need to take it to a special repair shop, right, which has the tools to open this. Why? Why is it designed this way? If you think about it, like, old phones weren't designed this way. There's no reason to design it like this. So the right to repair is going to force companies to provide the necessary tools in order to allow people in repair shops to open their gadgets. Is going to force the companies to push for a sufficient number of parts for people to be able to repair. And obviously the corporations are livid, because all of a sudden the army of people that would say private company can do whatever it wants are nowhere to be found. Okay, like, apparently even the people that think a private company can do whatever it wants have phones. And they don't appreciate the fact that they need to buy a new phone every time something bad happens. So yeah, I mean, the crying from these corporations is very hilarious. I mean, the moaning is that, oh my god, well, if people are going to be able to tinker with our phones like that, they're going to be able to violate security risks and hazards and shit. And I don't care. Okay, like I don't care. It's kind of fun. It's like, oh well, if people are able to open the Tesla, then they're going to figure out how the security works, and they're going to be able to hack into a Tesla. Okay, like first of all, this is just mind fucking me. Like, what do you mean hack into a Tesla? What? So Russian hackers now can control your vehicle? Like, what are you talking about? Why is this? You know, like, whatever happened with the good old-fashioned car? You know, where you're, like, sitting behind it, you get the wheel, and it drives. Like, where does the hacking come into? I know I'm a boomer. I'm pretty sure, like, nowadays cars just run by themselves. And then in the future, AI is going to drive the car for you. But I'm just saying, you know, like, is this not a little bit ridiculous at this point? Like, you can't take your car to just a repair shop? Like, is every mechanic supposed to go out of a business because corporations found a way in order to make more money at the detriment of the consumer? Like, you're not allowed to repair stuff now. You need to go to their expensive shop, which is expensive as fuck, by the way, in order for them to, like, fix the bugs in the software. And by the way, do you guys remember that really funny controversy that iPhone found itself in, where it said that their software updates was slowing down the phones? And they were doing this so that people upgrade. It's like, oh, my phone is so slow, it's so old, I should get a new version. Yeah, I think they got into that controversy like 5 or 6 years ago. Well, it was really ridiculous, you know? But because, like, corporations realize that this is very good for them. It's good for business because they get a monopoly on repair. It's good for business because now they get to pump up every year a new product, which are constantly supposed to buy. And it's good for them because they don't have to innovate. Because you're not buying a new product because you want the upgrade. You're buying the product because, like, well, you need a new phone. And I think, like, if it was the same phone, like, if it was really that flimsy, and you wouldn't be able to, like, upgrade your phone, like, people would view that they're losing money, right? They would view it as a loss. It's like, I just bought this phone 2 years ago, and now it's broken. You know, and now I need to pay, like, another $1,500 or how much an iPhone is nowadays. So when you're upgrading, like you're buying a better one, oh, well, I had an iPhone 7, now I'm buying an iPhone X. Oh, well, it's a huge difference, a huge upgrade, right? So the people don't feel like they're being cheated out of their money. In reality, like most people that I know, the only reason they upgrade their phone is for their camera, right? This could be very easily fixed if the camera would be plug and play, like you just pull it out and put the new one in. They could do that, but they're not going to do that because it would cost them money. Right. So thanking for the right of repair thing, which has been passed, corporations now may probably make products that are going to last more. Because they don't like the fact that, well, other people are going to tinker with their shit. So maybe now the new phones are going to be a lot better. The cars are going to be a lot sturdier. You know, the tractors are going to be as prone to malfunction as they are. So I don't see this as a loss for the consumer. You know, like this is one of the only pieces of legislation in recent history that I can remember, which I'm like happy it's being passed. And by the way, like one of the reasons they said it's like it's bad for global warming because apparently like a lot of resources are being used from mining operations in order to build these phones, and it's causing global warming. Good, you know, fine, save Mother Gaia. If I can have my phone without having to buy a new one every 3 years, perfect. My grandmother used to have one of those dial phones, you know, like the dial-up phone. Like, she used to have that for like over 2 decades. Didn't have to change it. I'm not being so ridiculous right now, because I understand, you know, like someone might want to buy a new phone to play some new game or to experience some new app or some shit. Okay, like you can change your phone once 5-10 years, but like how many people genuinely do that? Legitimate question. How many people just buy a new phone because they're excited about the product versus how many people buy a new phone because it's cheaper to buy a new one than to repair it? So this is a very good piece of legislation. I'm so happy that it's been pushed. I don't know the effects of it. I don't know if it's just going to work. Like maybe corporations are going to find loopholes and ways around it. I don't know. But at least like the conversation is going in the right place. And at least this is a bipartisan issue. Thank God. Let me know what you guys think though. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.